Donald Trump public profile. Approval ratings. Presidential approval polls taken during the first 10 months of Trump's term have shown him to be the least popular U.S. president in the history of modern opinion polls. A Pew Research Center global poll conducted in July 2017 found a median of just 22% has confidence in Trump to do the right thing when it comes to international affairs. This compares to a median of 64% rate of confidence for his predecessor Barack Obama. Trump received a higher rating in only two countries, Russia and Israel. An August 2017 Politico/Morning Consult poll found on some measures that majorities of voters have low opinions of his character and competence. Trump is the only elected president who did not place first on Gallup's poll of men Americans most admired in his first year in office, coming in second behind Obama. By December 2018, Trump's approval ratings, averaged over many polls, stood at roughly 42%, 2 points below Obama's 44% at the same time in his presidency, and 1 point above Ronald Reagan. False statements. As president, Trump has frequently made false statements in public speeches and remarks. Trump uttered at least one false or misleading claim per day on 91 of his first 99 days in office according to the New York Times, and 1,318 total in his first 263 days in office according to the fact-checker political analysis column of The Washington Post. By Trump's 700th day in office, the Post's tally exceeded 7,500 false or misleading claims, and, in the 7 weeks leading up to the midterm elections, it had risen to an average of 30 per day from 4.9 during his first 100 days in office. The Post found that Trump averaged 15 false statements per day during 2018. Racial views. Trump has a history of making racially controversial remarks and taking actions that are perceived as racially motivated. In 1975, he settled a 1973 Department of Justice lawsuit that alleged housing discrimination against black renters. He was accused of racism for insisting that a group of black and Latino teenagers were guilty of raping a white woman in the 1989 Central Park jogger attack, even after they were exonerated by DNA evidence in 2002. He continued to maintain this position as late as 2016. Starting in 2011, Trump was a major proponent of birther conspiracy theories alleging that Barack Obama was born in Kenya, and questioned his eligibility to serve as president. Trump later took credit for pushing the White House to release the long-form birth certificate from Hawaii, and he stated during his presidential campaign that his stance had made him very popular. In September 2016, he publicly acknowledged that Obama was born in the United States, and falsely asserted that the rumors had been started by Hillary Clinton in her 2008 presidential campaign. According to an analysis in Political Science Quarterly, Trump made explicitly racist appeals to whites during his 2016 presidential campaign. Trump launched his campaign with a speech in which he stated, "When Mexico sends its people, they're not sending their best, they're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists, and some, I assume, are good people." Later, his attacks on a Mexican-American judge were criticized as racist. His comments following a 2017 far-right rally in Charlottesville, Virginia, were seen as implying a moral equivalence between the white supremacist marchers and those who protested them. In a January 2018 Oval Office meeting to discuss immigration legislation with congressional leaders, Trump reportedly referred to El Salvador, Haiti, Honduras, and African countries as shitholes. His remarks were condemned as racist worldwide, as well as by many members of Congress. Trump has denied accusations of racism multiple times, saying he is the least racist person. Trump's racially insensitive statements and actions have been condemned by many observers in the U.S. and around the world, but accepted by his supporters either as a rejection of political correctness or because they harbor similar racial sentiments. Several studies and surveys have stated that racist attitudes and racial resentment have fueled Trump's political ascendance, and have become more significant than economic factors in determining party allegiance of voters. In a June 2018 Quinnipiac University poll, 49% of respondents believed that Trump is racist while 47% believed he is not. Additionally, 55% said he has emboldened people who hold racist beliefs to express those beliefs publicly. Relationship with the press. Throughout his career, Trump has sought media attention. His interactions with the press turned into what some sources called a love-hate relationship. Trump began promoting himself in the press in the 1970s. Throughout his 2016 presidential campaign and his presidency, Trump has repeatedly accused the press of intentionally misinterpreting his words and of being biased, calling them fake news media and the enemy of the people. In the campaign, Trump benefited from a record amount of free media coverage, elevating his standing in the Republican primaries. After winning the election, Trump told journalist Leslie Stahl that he intentionally demeaned and discredited the media, so when you write negative stories about me, no one will believe you. Into his presidency, much of the press coverage of Trump and his administration was negative. Trump has privately and publicly mused about taking away critical reporters' White House press credentials, despite, during his campaign, promising not to do so once he became president. A study found that between October 7 and November 14, 2016, while 1 in 4 Americans visited a fake news website, Trump supporters visited the most fake news websites, which were overwhelmingly pro-Trump, and almost 6 in 10 visits to fake news websites came from the 10% of people with the most conservative online information diets. Brendan Nyhan, one of the authors of the study, stated in an interview on NBC News, "People got vastly more misinformation from Donald Trump than they did from fake news websites." Popular culture. Trump has been the subject of comedians, flash cartoon artists, and online caricature artists. He has been parodied regularly on Saturday Night Live by Phil Hartman, Darrell Hammond, and Alec Baldwin, and in South Park as Mr. Garrison. The Simpsons episode Bart to the Future, written during his 2000 campaign for the Reform Party, anticipated a future Trump presidency. A dedicated parody series called The President Show debuted in April 2017 on Comedy Central, while another one called Our Cartoon President debuted on Showtime in February 2018. Trump's wealth and lifestyle had been a fixture of hip-hop lyrics since the 1980s, as he was named in hundreds of songs, most often in a positive tone. Mentions of Trump turned negative and pejorative after he ran for office in 2015. Social media. Trump's presence on social media has attracted attention worldwide since he joined Twitter in March 2009. He communicated heavily on Twitter during the 2016 election campaign, and has continued to use this channel during his presidency. The attention on Trump's Twitter activity has significantly increased since he was sworn in as president. He uses Twitter as a direct means of communication with the public, sidelining the press. Many of the assertions he tweeted have been proven false. Recognitions. In December 2016, Time named Trump as its Person of the Year. In an interview on The Today Show, he said he was honored by the award, but he took issue with the magazine for referring to him as the President of the Divided States of America. In the same month, he was named Financial Times Person of the Year. In December 2016, Forbes ranked Trump the second most powerful person in the world, after Vladimir Putin. In 2015, Robert Gordon University revoked the Honorary Doctor of Business Administration, DBA, it had granted Trump in 2010, stating that Mr. Trump has made a number of statements that are wholly incompatible with the ethos and values of the university.